hamstrings nice and warm in case he has to come back on the ground, which with Barassi coaching could be any second, couldn't it, Jack?
Could be any second or maybe never. The ball put down in the centre of the ground, taken here by Armstrong. The kick travelling very high. Young and Greg will fly for it, compete for the mark, which may not have even been paid. The distance wasn't in it. And Greg being held or pushed in the back, the umpire said, to take the free kick for North Melbourne right in the centre of the Princes Park Oval. The short game is on by North Melbourne. Blight will put the long kick in. And what a long kick it is from in the square. He puts it up and the mark has been taken down there by Reeves. Only 6 metres out from goal, going for his third goal. Oh, Blight did show the advantage of using the ball long. He kicked it well from within the square and the mark was taken in the goal square. So Reeves getting close to the man on the mark, going for a little stab shot at goal, and he's popped it through for a goal to North Melbourne. And as Peter McKenna told you before, North did need a couple of quick goals, but they have got them. North Melbourne now on 8 goals, 9.57, some 13 points behind Carlton's score of 10-10-70.
And I'm very impressed, Jack, as I know you would be, with young Reeves today. I reckon he's played a great game up on that forward line. He's already kicked 3 of his own and gave 1 away to Huppert, so he's certainly been responsible for 4 of North Melbourne's goals, and that's a great effort against the strong Carlton defence.
Yes, I must agree with you entirely in those remarks, Peter. There's only one thing that I can say for young Michael Reeves. Sometimes he has the tendency to fly. He's a fairly big fellow, so he naturally can take a mark, but he has the tendency to fly against his full forward. Looks like that Ray Huppert's down there by the look, or Johnny Casson. Couldn't quite see the face, but he's getting the hamstring stretched right out because it appears he may be coming back on the ground. We've been playing 20.5 minutes of the third quarter, and the game tightens up again. Not forgetting that the lead changed 7 times in the first quarter, and it's been a very entertaining game. Jarrett putting North Melbourne back into attack, looking for Dempsey. Can't take it. Good mark to Perovic. Perovic in front, hand passing on to English, who's been a surprise packet. He's played very well. Up toward Marcoux, tapped out by Greg. Greg not quite getting to the ball as Marcoux did. Picked up by Marcoux, who's brought into trouble out of bounds just about. The umpire has now signalled there will be a bounce, but the ball was very close to being out.
And the umpire was all set to pay holding the ball. Then I thought, Jack, as he put that whistle there and changed his mind when he saw Marcoux didn't have the ball. It was good umpiring, in fact. There's the ball knocked by Dempsey to Southby. Southby gives it to Perovic onto the left foot. He's a good left foot kick too. It's a 50-metre one right up where McConville gives a little bit of a shove out. And the umpire was right on the scene to see that one, and Doug Smith takes his free kick on half-back flank. There's the kick from Smith.
Kick.
Right down towards the half-foot. Oh, great mark by Perovic. That's the second one within the space of 1 minute at the centre half-back position and over Gary Dempsey.
Gary Dempsey not having a very good day. I was just about to say that, Peter. Kicked by Perovic. Very well done. McCann will fly high. Should have gone the spoil. McConville nearly took the mark. Armstrong bursts through, gives it to McClure. And a goal coming up from the boot of Mark McClure. His third goal. Sorry, his second goal. I'm getting carried away with this game. It's so exciting here at Princes Park. I'm giving goals where they're not warranted. But it's Carlton 11-10-76. North Melbourne 8-9-57. A very exciting third quarter. You're watching on the big league from Channel 7, of course.
There's a shot of the Bluebirds there. Very excited there when McClure kicked that goal, because McClure is the idol of the Carlton supporters, and certainly that'll give him a lot of confidence to have kicked that goal. There's the bounce of the ball. Fitzpatrick against McCann. McCann gets that hit out. Comes towards Schimmelbusch on the left foot, right down towards Reeves, and the ball favours him. Blight's in there. Klump trying to get away from the ball. Thrown out of the pack towards Bridus, and he runs into the open goal. He has put it just offline. I thought he threw his head back as he kicked that ball in disappointment. And now after that behind, the difference is 3 straight goals. 8-10 North Melbourne. Carlton are 11 goals, 10. And what a bad miss that one was, Jack.
Was a bad miss by Arnie Bridus. He hasn't had a very good day, though. He's been given the father of a hiding by Dool, so his confidence wouldn't be too high, would it?
Well, how'd you like to sleep on the Friday night, Jack, knowing you had to play in Bruce Dool?
You know, it frightened me for a minute. I didn't know what I was going to say. No, it would be a worrying thought to a lot of players, because Dool is a very accomplished footballer. It's through the defence of Dool, and the fellow with the ball now, Perovic, and English in the back pocket. Southby, of course. The Carlton defence has really been their strength today. Beautiful kick by Perovic. Nearly a mark to Wick, but it's called play on. Taken here by Young. He looks for a hand pass into Austin, who made good ground. The kick from Austin up towards Smith. It gets past here and McConville. Glendinning can't get it. Warren Jones taps it back to McConville. Doug Smith got in there too. Jones hand passing back to Armstrong. Carlton a chance for a score. The left foot kick from Armstrong going very well indeed. crowd, then only one behind. It's been an exciting game, Peter, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They're two of the best sides in league football, and although Carlton seem to have had the edge, North Melbourne haven't given up, and they're certainly not out of this game yet, because they'll come home with the aid of a slight Breeze favouring their end. There's Greg Wells running that ball round the boundary line. He's still got the ball in play. That's great play by Wells. There's a left foot kick coming up to McClure over the back. Can't take the mark. Comes to McConville. There's a hand pass coming out to Armstrong on the left foot towards the goals, off the hands of the pack, I should say, and through for one more behind to Carlton. They're 12th. 11 goals, 12, 78 to Carlton. North Melbourne, 8-10, 58.
Glendinning playing on from the full-back position and putting the boot right behind it. To the outer side it travels, and McCann took a good mark. Looked for the chance to play on, but the umpire said he can go back now and take the kick. He lost possession of the ball, or he would have been gone. McCann's kick, not a good one. Into Ward, Hupperts can't take it. He got to it eventually, still can't pick it up cleanly. The ball running toward the boundary line. Hupperts still in there fighting for possession. Gave it out to Byrne. Byrne putting the ball in long, in toward the full forward zone, looking for Dempsey. It's just in play. Dempsey forced toward the boundary line, but once again the Carlton defence stands firm as the hand pass came from Austin out to Perovic, and the kick travelling up towards Big Fitzpatrick. He's up toward the centre wing position on the outer side, looking for the chance to play on. Sheldon's there to take the short pass, and Carlton running right in this the third quarter as Sheldon goes on his way, putting it up long to the full forward zone at the back of the pack or front of the pack. Cottagio! Another goal by Vin Cottagio, and Carlton looking good in the third quarter. Cottagio kicks his second. The scoreboard changes to read Carlton 12-12-84 and North Melbourne 8-10-58.
And that's a very handy lead now. What a great goal that was, Cottagio. He certainly knows where the goals are as he hooked that one back over his shoulder, and it didn't just get in, it split the centre.
Beautiful shot. But Carlton moving the ball very well. Peter, they've got the little fellas playing very well.
Yes, they've had more breakaway moves than what North Melbourne had. They've had the speed. Their little blokes can get away in the open spaces and drive that ball down to their forward line and put the North defence under pressure. Here's one of them again, Marku, coming out with the ball. Look at that acceleration. Oh, Young went for that, tried to run away with it one-handed, but Keith Gregg, he's a great player as he kicks that down. But there he is once again, ever reliable Bruce Dool. And look at that kick as he's given that out wide to Sheldon. Beautifully placed ball. Sheldon knocks the ball on. Keith Gregg. Well, gosh, look at that. That was a dummy. He pretended to punch it, then grabbed it instead. There's the kick down towards half-forward flank, over the back of Klomp. Players going after it. Klomp goes back on after it. Ton of strength. Handballs the ball away, and Dool coming out from defence. Screams away. He always saves his best against North Melbourne, Bruce Dool. Right up towards the half-forward line. Keith Gregg goes in after it. He's possibly been North Melbourne's best player. But the umpire's picked out a free kick to Ray Hupperts on centre wing.
Hupperts thought of a hand pass to Jarrett, changed his mind. That's a sloppy-looking kick. Up toward the centre of the ground. It's been tapped down by Tanner to Byrne. Byrne looking for a hand pass to Blight. He found him. Blight puts it onto the boot very quickly, kicks high, and Reeves will fly at the back of the pack. But once again, he opposed his forward, but the free kick has been given against Dempsey, who took the mark and will be given to Valperovic of Carlton. He's going wide, and loose man is out there. Bridus was half asleep. Armstrong took the mark and played on quickly. Took full liberty of the distance he's allowed to run, and found McClure with a good pass and a good mark to boot. McClure puts it up high. Chance for Big Warren Jones to force his way into the pack. Couldn't get in there though. Good defence by Ramsey. Got rid of the ball very quickly out toward Wilson, having trouble picking up. The kick not a good one. I think he headed for the boundary line. If he did, it was a good shot because he found it.
You would have played, did you ever play against John Beckwith, Jack?
Well, we were at other end of the ground, of course. But
well, that was the old John Beckwith one, round the boundary line and bounced the wrong way out of bounds. There's the ball coming back towards half-forward flank. The ball kicked away by Stevenik right down towards half-forward line. Kerry Good can't take the mark. Bruce Dool there backing up once again. And look at that delivery as he's found Cottagio in the centre of the ground. Cottagio plays on, kicks wide. Looking out there for Alex Marku, and a strong mark in front of Roy Ramsey, and definitely within kicking distance for this shot because he'll have the aid of the Breeze coming behind him.
Ramsey had a look back over his shoulder as much as to say how far out is he, because he knew that he couldn't get to Marku. This brought him to take the mark. Marku's going for his second goal. Put it on its way well. Was not quite on target, and the pack hit it before the goes through 4-1 behind. So Alex Marku off the target on that occasion, and Carlton on 12-13-85. North Melbourne 8-10-58. The time clock getting around toward the 28.5-minute mark of the third quarter. Glendinning playing on from the full-back position, placing the ball out toward Jarrett, who was meant for Jarrett, I think, but didn't quite make him. Daryl Schimmelbusch, Wayne Schimmelbusch, going crook because the pass by Glendinning dropped short on him. And McClure back in business once again. So McClure will take a shot from a position 45 to 50 metres out, going for his third goal. And if he does happen to kick this goal, it'll make North Melbourne's task very difficult indeed, because North Melbourne are trailing by 27 points before McClure has this kick.
Mark McClure, normally a fairly good drop punt kick. He lines up this one. Oh, this is swinging back. It's come right back and through the centre for the third goal to Mark McClure, and for Carlton's 13. 13 goals, 13-91 Carlton. North Melbourne 8-10-58. So that's a very handy lead approaching the three-quarter time siren, Jack.
That it is, Peter. I was anticipating kicking that goal because he's kicked a couple of nice goals. Even though Stephen Hickes played well for North Melbourne today, Mark McClure's had a big say on the scoreboard there with 3 out of the 13 goals of Carlton. Back in the centre, umpire Kevin Smith putting it down, and McCann and Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick getting the tap. Schimmelbusch being held, didn't have the ball. He will take the free kick for North Melbourne. This is Wayne Schimmelbusch, the captain of North Melbourne, in a position on the outer wing, kicking up high to a very congested forward line of North. They all fly high. The ball punched by Good out of the pack. Still a big pack around it though. Armstrong pushed in the back, and the umpire, you couldn't quite, yes, you could see him on screen showing what the free kick was all about. Plump got it to the boot quickly, but now it's Greg and Young to do battle on the members' win. The ball bounced badly for both of them. Greg won out, putting the ball up to the full forward zone again, but North's full forward zone very congested again. Reeves spun out of trouble, into trouble, tried for a short kick into Bridus, who's in trouble, got the boot to it, and a North Melbourne goal coming up from the boot of Arnold Bridus. So North Melbourne now, Bridus kicks his second goal, and North move on to 9 goals 10, 64, but it's 27 points behind Carlton's score of 13-13-91.
And Arnold Bridus would be very happy to get away and kick that goal too, because he's had the shadow of Bruce Doull chasing him all day, harassing him, and I'd say Doull would be very close to best man on the ground at this stage.
Well, it'd have to be, because he's put in a rather faultless game. He did give 1 free kick away, I think, early in the quarter, but that's about the only mistake he's made. From the centre bounce, Armstrong goes after it for Carlton, picked up and hurriedly kicked by Blight into the open spaces of the North Melbourne half-forward flank. Wilson can't trap it. A chance for Austin. He lost possession when tackled by Good. Dempsey tries to get it out. He does to Tanner. Tanner goes into the open goal. A chance for Byrne. He's got the whole paddock to himself. The goals are open. And one of the easiest goals of the day came from the boot of John Byrne for his second goal. And North Melbourne creeping back into the game, Peter. They're now 21 points down to Carlton. North on 10-10, Carlton 13-13.
Well, I tell you what, Jack, it's the 31.5-minute mark of the third quarter, and they could be very handy goals that North Melbourne have scored in that couple of minutes there.
Very handy indeed, because you see the time clock now, as Peter told you, it's at 31.5, only up to the 32-minute mark, and North with 21 points. I know they would rather have the 21-point advantage, but it's not a lead that can't be picked up.
There's the ball coming out towards Mark Fu. He was grabbed when he didn't have the ball. As the siren sounds for three-quarter time, Carlton in front, 13-13-91. North Melbourne, 10 goals, 10-70.
Yes, thank you.
Right.
North Melbourne's last chance to get back. They're trailing Carlton by 21 points as the final quarter is about to get underway. Dempsey's had a quiet day, but got that tap down. A chance for McCann to put North Melbourne further forward. A hand pass to Schimmelbusch, is in trouble, but out of trouble nicely. The kick not a good one toward Bridus. Bridus tapped it back, but Doull came on the scene. He got it out now. McCann once again for North Melbourne. Misses the run of the ball. Mark Fu in front. The favourite to take the ball away. His hand pass is put out to the side toward Buckley, but taken by Armstrong. Armstrong left foots it toward the forward pocket. It bounces toward McConville. He gets back onto his kicking foot before the tackle comes from Mick. He lets go with a kick toward Toggio and Ramsey. Punched away by Ramsey. The big clearing punch toward Greg.
He slips over, it comes across to Jarrett. Jarrett tries to hook it back towards Blight. It's the Carlton defence. Southby was strong there, but Blight grabs the ball, goes for the step pass. Further afield, a beautiful pass and a good lead by Kerry Good. And he got one right on the nose from Austin. And I think that might be, well, I won't say it was a retaliatory effort, but if you remember the first quarter, Jack, it was the other way around. Austin got one right across the snout.
That was an old saying in football and life in general. You win them and wear them.
Very
that's
good.
what you have to do.
Fair enough too, Jack. And Kerry Good's already kicked 2 goals. He's lining up to his third from 25 metres out directly in front. He fires at the goals this one, and I'd say he's put that one right through the centre for his third, and North Melbourne's 11. 11 goals, 10-76 North Melbourne. Carlton at 13-91. So North Melbourne definitely in with a chance, Jack.
Only 15 points between